Today we're off to get the new car lift. Let's get hooked up, boys, okay?
Yeah.
We thought we'd talk a little bit about why we ended up getting this lift that we got. We looked at several different options. I looked to compare the different styles of lifts. Two-post lifts are available, which are nice. They take up less space. There's a few brands that make a semi-portable two-post lift, but you still need to mount and anchor it to the floor. With a four-post lift, you do not need to anchor to the floor, and they can be mobile. Our shop has heating tubes in the floor, in the concrete, and drilling into that can be a challenge. Plus, then you're stuck with whatever location you pick. We decided to go with the Wildfire brand lift after comparing the options that are out there. There are other brands out there like Triumph and other people who sell basically the same lift as Triumph. It looks like maybe even the same Chinese manufacturer. Those lifts use a C-channel type design instead of having the lift slide over the post. It's a smaller post. It's not as rigid as this lift. As far as I could tell, there is another company called Advantage that makes almost the identical lift to the Wildfire. Of course, each company claims theirs is better. I don't know if one is better than the other, but either way, the Wildfire is a Minnesota-based company. I thought I'd support the local company. Plus, they gave a Minnesota discount to residents of Minnesota, which lowered their price lower than what Advantage would be. And lastly, the pickup location for Wildfire was about 2 hours from our house versus 3 hours for the Advantage lift. We'll go over some of these details as we're installing it, but we just wanted to give an overview of how we ended up getting a Wildfire lift and its advantages. I should mention this is the standard Wildfire lift, and as we install it, we'll show you in our space why we ended up with this lift. Well, it was a great drive home with no complications. We've got the trailer home and unstrapped, so we thought we would take this time to show you around the shop as to where we're planning on putting the lift. So first we'll go into the shop here, show you different space ideas we had for the lift. So this is our main shop space. When it was built, it was not built with the idea of putting a lift in mind. As you can see, there are only 9-foot ceilings in here. You can see the truck in front of us is a current project that we're working on. It's a 94 Chevy Silverado from Montana. We'll be putting a NV 4500 manual transmission in it, and you can see a different video on that. It currently is an automatic truck. Very clean body. We're just doing some touch-up work on it. This room would fit the lift from a length and width standpoint, but from a height standpoint, with a truck like this, you would end up with about 3 feet of working space under it. It also would tie up the space of the shop having the lift in here. The lift is on wheels, and we considered having it so it would roll up to the front of the room here and be out of the way if you put it all the way up, but then you wouldn't be able to get to it if you had something in here that you were actually working on at the time. The other option we thought of in this room is that you actually could roll the lift out the door, and we have a concrete slab on that end of the shop to hold it. And the lift would be able to get out that door by kind of moving it back and forth. What we concluded, however, is to use this space back here, which is a separate storage space. I'll go to this end of the room so you have better lighting. But this room has ceilings that come down at an angle, and we actually will get a little bit over 10 feet of space on the lift here, allowing the lift itself to be 4 feet in the air and having better room. It'll be a little tighter back here, but when you have something on the lift that you're working on, it won't tie up all of your space. So the next step of the installation process is to see if the tractor can lift it off of the trailer on the end like the forklift did. And then the other challenge is that we need it in here the opposite direction, because the cylinder that we're going to put the pump at the front end of the garage here, the cylinder is at the other end from where the lifting end of the is currently. So we do have this little heavy-duty cart, and I have another one that we can use to roll it around, so we'll try to figure out how to position it.
Hey, happy we're back. The tractor couldn't lift it, so we're going to reduce the weight.
All right, now we've got all the main posts inside, and we've got the ramps and the runways over there, and then we've got all the rest of the parts over here. The next step is assembly.